Hey there. It's the preamble. It's the bit of the show where I say clearly and distinctly that we are aware we're being surveilled. We don't like it. We didn't fucking ask for it. If anyone's making money off of this, it's not us. And we want it to stop. It's also the part where we ask, hey, if you can help us in that endeavor. Literally, all we need is a little bit of hard, factual information to be able to fight with. It wouldn't take a lot. You can reach us at joyandsolace@gmail.com or on the Fediverse at eternalseptember@thick.horse. On Discord at Joyous Amalgamation. We haven't spoken to anyone about this still. It's why we're still asking. So again, if you think that you're in contact with someone who is us about this situation, you are not in contact with us about this situation. Heed whoever you're speaking to into the sun. Not going to do a long one today because the fire alarm in the apartment we're staying in went off for 2.5 hours starting at about 12:30 to around 3 in the morning. That's 12:30, as in 30 minutes past midnight. So we spent a lot of today sleeping, and we're just kind of exhausted. We will say, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but if someone's whole shtick is fucking sticking their head in your window and screaming at you, you're allowed to scream back. All right. I'm going to hit the music, and then after the music, we're going to play Talos Principle. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those who do not feel represented by an oppressive gender binary, hello and welcome. Uh, I'm the Eternal September. You're whoever the hell you say you are, for better or for worse, so why not be better? I made a new little environment for my chitty chatty parts. It's very basic, but I'm looking at it on the stream preview right now, and I literally couldn't be happier about it. Um, we're gonna play more Talos Principle 2 today. And as usual, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do the content warnings. So, Talos Principle 2 is a puzzle game wherein we are a robot in a society of robots, exploring puzzles in order to investigate a megastructure has which is doing some shit. Nothing dangerous. It's just doing some shit, and we want to know what the shit is that it's doing. Um, the game plays with philosophical concepts, sort of the ideas of what is a society, what is the role of society, what is it for an individual to exist within a society. Um, so if those aren't concepts you feel like handling, I don't know, maybe be careful as we move forward. I'm going to talk about my own feelings about that just a little bit, and uh, I don't make apologies for that. I need to give a um, motion sickness warning because I think the the frame rate is not good. That is a problem with my computer, um, which is beefy enough to run this game, but not beefy enough to run it very smoothly. I still want to do it, and this sort of gameplay is not hampered by the fact that the frame rate is just a little low, but it can cause that sort of choppiness can sometimes cause motion sickness, and so I am letting you know that's a thing. Um, what else? Eye contact. All of the conversations we have in the game are with our other robot friends are done with them looking directly into the camera. They have a much more human-like face rather than the TV head that I have here. So if that's something that bothers you, please be forewarned. And I think that's it for the game. Content warnings for myself. I am a strange person who occasionally makes weird sex jokes or speaks frankly about my trauma. And if that's not your vibe, that's okay. If you feel like that's something you're comfortable being around, I'm glad to have you here. If you're here specifically to mock that, um, why? I guess we're looping back around to why. I wish you would ask yourself that because you don't really. I tend to just not consume shit that I know is going to make me upset because it's completely antithetical to who I am as a person. All right. Let's lower myself just a little bit more in the just a little bit more in the thing. There we go. Uh, I think that's good. Let's just double click Talos Principle 2 and jump into it. As developed by Crow Team. I keep mentioning it because literally, like, what the fuck? How did you make Serious Sam and this? It doesn't seem like it coincides, but eh. Also, the game gives an epilepsy warning. I am bad at knowing what types of flashing lights are bad for epilepsy. There are definitely bits where things are sparking, and I can see that being a problem. And there's sequences in the megastructure which have a very different lighting than the sort of naturalistic environment lighting that the outside areas have had. So maybe that is something to be forewarned of. Let's play. Continued. All right. So last time we finished up the second east um, puzzle zone. We did all 8 of the regular puzzles, and I think both of the no, just one of the bonus puzzles. Those are still around here somewhere. We also did our first monument thing. There was a monument with a sphinx on it. It had a plaque in front of it with some numbers, and we figured out that we needed to like pull switches on the numbered signs in front of the puzzle rooms in a proper order, and that gave us a star. We don't know what the stars are for yet, but they're probably for that temple that we saw in the first area at base camp. In addition, there are still a couple of question marks on our compass up there at the top, around about this way. So I'm just going to walk over to there and see what the hell they are. I will say, as an upgrade from Talos Principle 1, the compass and the signage is incredibly welcome. Because if you saw the streams I did like last month or the month before of Talos Principle 1, it is my biggest problem in that game was just like, where do I go? How do I start this process? I think this must be one of the other lost puzzles then. Oh, no. Here's the thing it's pointing at. A palm reader that we hadn't activated. So let's do that. I still didn't do the hex code stuff like I said I was going to. Because, again, it was up until like 4 yesterday. Or this morning rather, and then just spent most of today sleeping to try and make sure I had enough energy to do this, which I guess I accomplished that, go me. But it means I didn't get a lot of other stuff done. Let's check out these files. The New Theology by George Bernard Shaw. The object of the whole evolutionary process is to realize God. That is to say, instead of the old notion that creation began with a God, a personal being who, being perfect, created something lower than himself, the aim of the new theology is to turn that process the other way, and to conceive of the force behind the universe as working up through imperfection and mistake to a perfect, organized being, having the power of fulfilling its highest purposes. In a sense, there is no God as yet achieved, but there is that force at work making God, struggling through us to become an actual organized existence, enjoying what to many of us is the greatest conceivable ecstasy, the ecstasy of a brain, an intelligence actually conscious of the whole, and with executive force capable of guiding it to a perfectly benevolent and harmonious end. That is what we are working to. And from the game stuff, From the Lives of the First Companions by Randolph 777, which begins with a chunk of hex code. After these events, Niam decided to consult the writings of the ancients, but while philosophy and religion interested her, it was art in all its forms that came as a revelation. To her delight, she discovered that meaning was not something constructed purely out of logic or will, but that it could also be found in stories. That even when the characters and events of a story were not factual, they had a validity and weight as if they somehow were real after all. She was astonished that such a profound experience was freely available to all humans, but concerned that too few took advantage of it. So she set out to enrich the inner lives of her fellow citizens by promoting the arts, starting with the legacy of Gehenna. Another set of commentaries. That sounds nice. I would love to meet her one day. She must know more about New Jerusalem art history than anyone. When we do, remind me to explain how to pronounce her name. The default setting in the language libraries are wrong. And from the Introduction to Leviathan by Thomas Hobbes. Nature. Hey, thank you. Nature, the art whereby God has made and governs the world, is, by the art of man, as in many other things, so in the... This older English syntax. I'm just gonna do it. Nature, the art whereby God has made and governs the world, is, by the art of man, as in many other things, so in this also imitated, that it can make an artificial animal. For seeing life is but a motion of the limbs, the beginning whereof is in some principal part within. Why may we not say that all automata, engines that move by themselves, by springs and wheels, as does a watch, have an artificial life? For what is the heart but a spring, and the nerves but so many strings, and the joints but so many wheels, giving motion to the whole body, such as was intended by the artificer? Art goes yet further, imitating that rational and most excellent work of nature, man. For by art is created in that great Leviathan called a commonwealth, or state, in Latin civitas, which is but an artificial man, though of greater stature and strength than the natural, for whose protection and defense it was intended, and in which the sovereignty is an artificial soul, as giving life and motion to the whole. And then it errors out a little bit. Lastly, the pacts and covenants, by which the parts of this body politic were at first made, set together, and united, resemble that fiat, or let us make man, pronounced by God in the creation. More commentary. It's obvious that Hobbes has read Stratton and is extrapolating the Talos principle to the level of the state, but unlike Stratton, all he wishes for at the end of the day is a powerful ruler to control this machine, to tell him what to do. Freedom of choice versus freedom from choice. I'm trying to remember what the hell band that is. It's the lyrics are in there, the music is in there, but the actual artist is escaping me. Oh, okay, this is the other bonus puzzle. So I guess those are just marked on the map. That's nice. That means we can go back and do the one that we missed in East 1 simply. Let's do this, though. Loop. Hey, you Stardust. I made myself mad. I made myself mad doing that. Okay. Okay, fuck. Alright. So, hey. We have a driller, a connector, an emitter. Well, let's just look at the thing. Here's our progress wheel. It's behind a barrier that's controlled by a pair of buttons. We need to press both buttons down in order to make that go. There's a box in here, so we can press one button down. But this area where the barrier is cut off by a membrane, so the driller and the connector that we have access to can't get into there. There's a copper wall over here. So if we can take our driller and punch a hole through that copper wall. Then that'll do something. There's another one over there. Behind just a regular brand barrier that's controlled by a switch. Okay, but we don't have enough elements to be able to... Okay. Because we can't put something on the switch to open the barrier and then, like, use the driller to punch a hole through the wall and then put the connector, say, through, because then we don't, like, there's nothing that we have that will weigh down the switch. We don't have another thing. Over here there's another area. It's behind a barrier that's locked by a red receiver, so let's go ahead and open that. Let's see what's back here. And what's back here is a fan. What's back here is the kind of fan that's completely vertical or horizontal. The fan itself is vertical, which means it blows air horizontally. And it's pointing at a copper wall, which leads into a little, like, caged-in area with the other copper wall behind it. So I think what we need to do is... Huh. So, like, we can get the box out from that back area here into the main area pretty easily, because we can just weigh down the connector with the switch. Or weigh down the switch with the connector, rather. And punch a hole in that copper wall to pull the box out. And having done that, we can then, like, use the driller to punch holes in these walls to, like... to, like, push the box over this way so that we can pull it through that copper wall over there. But that doesn't actually fucking do anything, because that's the wall that we're, like, it would just put the box back in the place where the box already is. No, 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 no. Never mind. Never mind. I'm wrong. Let's go ahead and break that box out of jail real quick. Tonight is gonna be a jailbreak. Molly Hatchet, I think. Alright. Alright, so we can take the box out of here. And then we fix that, though we just very quickly go ahead and replace the connector for the box so we can push the connector back into here. So now the connector's in the back room behind the membrane. And that's useful because, first of all, it's already back there. And second, it can still, like, do its job, connecting the red emitter to the red receiver from back here. It doesn't need to be out there in order to do that. So, we do that. The box in front of the fan. Now we need to grab Mr. Driller. Punch a hole in the wall. And now we do the whole thing. We use the fan blower to send the box over to the other wall. Use Mr. Driller to open that wall. Now we can come through and pull the box back into this back area. And the connector's already back here, so we have our two things we need to weigh down the two buttons. Drop it on there. And boom. Wheel progressed.
Odd. 1K solved all the puzzles in this area, but nothing happened. There was a brief blip in the system, though. Maybe it'll do something later. There has to be some sort of point.
I don't know, Mulville. I still think having fun with the puzzles is its own reward. Is that another question mark on the compass? No, that's the number 7. Alright, so there's still whatever the fuck that other monument is. There was a monument with Prometheus on it that had like a... it had a plaque on it that was like a sort of circle diagram with stuff on it. I don't really know what that was. And I don't feel like investigating it deeply at the moment. So instead of that, we're just going to go back to the tram, and we're going to head off to East 3. Pardon me, gorgeous rock wall. We keep meaning to get into rock climbing. Because we have like a couple good memories of like rock walls from when we were little, and it seems like something we'd enjoy doing as like a physical fitness thing, but like it's actually difficult to just go out and do do rock wall climbing. I know that there are such things as climbing gyms. Gyms want money usually. And the buses don't go out to the mountains, so. Let's go through this little chuck of forest. Back to the tram. Hello, tram. And now travel to East 3.
After 1K found those labs, I started thinking, where did all the tech come from? So I had a look at the serial numbers, and it turns out the answer is New Alexandria.
Oh. Wow, I guess that makes sense. After the explosion, the colony was abandoned. Nobody ever went back for all that stuff.
We had enough to deal with. So many dead.
So that's one question answered. But how did they go from scavenged Alexandria tech to all this?
How did we go from nothing to where we are now? Through the application of reason and the right tools.
Ooh, pretty. As our tram approaches the island East 3, it has its own massive structure, which looks like a sea mine, kind of like a sphere with a whole bunch of spikes coming off of it.
Look at the size of that structure.
Yeah.
How does the material support so much weight? Is it the same stuff as the other buildings?
Yeah. I know it looks like some type of concrete, but the molecular structure is completely different. Whatever it is, it's a lot stronger and less brittle.
Are the labs made out of the same material?
No, that's just ordinary concrete. Although, it does have some molecular weirdness going on, too. Too little variation in the grain.
So that's cool and everything. I was taken by this in the sky. It's a dotted line. Like the kind that we see when we've set down a connector that doesn't have an active laser going through it. It's the dotted line that shows us where the laser would go. And there's just one of those hanging out in the air. So that's interesting. Let's do the puzzles, and then I'll remember to come back and have a look at that. Number 1 is over this way. It is a gorgeous sunset. And you are a beautiful robot. All right, so number 1, inversion. Oh, and here's the thing we saw yesterday. The like prototype that we saw on the table, the inverter. it also looks like a circle with a bunch of spikies coming off of it. And we know that this takes red lasers and turns them into blue lasers and vice versa. I guess I don't know what it does with green lasers. I don't know if we'll have the chance to know. But let's go ahead and use it to open this barrier. Let's see what's over here. What's over here is our progress wheel. It's locked behind a red thing. So we can't do that with what we have right now, so let's open the other barrier. By turning a blue laser into a red laser. I just like the look of the fucking thing. It's too... altogether it does look like a sphere with the spikies, but it's two, like, half domes, really, that are rotating opposite to each other, and the lights on the ends of the spikies flash red and blue counter to each other, which gives you, like, good visual identifier for what the thing does. And I like that very much. So this is not difficult to figure out. We'll take the red laser and turn it into a blue laser to reopen that first barrier. And now, again, the game reinforces, hey, you can use things that interact with lasers as laser points themselves. We take the inverter that's red, and that would have worked. Oh, because I hit the actual emitter, not the inverter. Hang on. Yep, there we go. Take the blue emitter, turn it into a red laser, and send it over there. Wheel progressed. I kind of want to see if I can't make a button that does that. That's something I might try tomorrow or over the weekend. In the meantime, let's move on. To puzzle number 2. Which is apparently out this way, over this beautiful little river. Are there switches on the back of these? I didn't check. There's not. Apparently that was just for that Sphinx puzzle that the numbered signs have switches on the back of them. Energy maintenance. Alright, so we have a small area. It's got a blue emitter and a connector in it. And 2 barriers, a red and a blue one. So let's open up the blue one. It's got an inverter behind it, predictably. So let's turn the blue laser we have into a red laser to open the other barrier. Uh-huh. And down here, there's our progress wheel, which is behind a block with the red and blue laser both. There's also a red emitter back here. Okay. So... Is there a blue emitter anywhere back here too? No? Oh, okay, no, I see it. So, there's two connectors back here. And I was hemming and hawing because I didn't really see how we were supposed to be able to get the, as we're clearly meant to, the inverter into that room because we need the red laser to open up this and to open up the first barrier in order to be able to get it back there. But we do that by taking the red laser from in there and bringing it out here with the connectors. And then with the thing open that way, we take the blue laser into, or we take the inverter in here. So we can take the red emitter that's in here, convert it into a blue laser, pop that open, and we'll progress. I do like that,
I think about New Alexandria all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But realizing this place was built on its bones just brings it all back even more. We were so optimistic when we started. So full of ourselves. We thought we could accomplish anything. And then, in one single moment, it was all gone. I remember a flash, and then just lying there, realizing that my legs had melted. I tried to pull myself away from the fire, but the servos in my arms were broken. If Eustathius hadn't found me... Sorry. Just some old scars.
Well, it's okay, Al. We know about trauma dumping here. So... I like that, as I was saying before, I like a lot that the progress wheels, as they open up, show like a statue of the like tower that they're going to. It's again just really clear visual language. It's like, hey, here's why you're doing this. And we'll open up the tower eventually. Oh, hey, here's Byron.
How can I help you?
So what do you make of Miranda? Miranda from last week. We saw her in sort of a dream when we got overloaded. She was just kind of standing in the middle of a field, chatting about societal philosophy like fucking everyone else does, but for some reason she's considered weird. I don't really understand that bit myself. She is the reason that she is considered sort of I'm going to use the word anomaly, I guess, is because she is a person like the rest of our robot friends are, except she was not built in New Jerusalem like the rest of us. She was built, presumably, out here near the megastructure. And no one seems to know what that means. So what do you make of this, Miranda?
Going on what little we have, honestly, she reminds me of myself when I'd just been born. I came out from the dam at night, and the sky was full of stars. I felt a reverence then, an almost ecstatic connection to the sublime. The universe seemed like a miracle, and to exist within it was the greatest possible honor. That view was tempered in time, but I've always tried to hold on to as much of it as I could.
Tell me about New Alexandria.
We made two fatal mistakes in New Alexandria. One was trusting the texts of our ancestors without thinking for ourselves. The other was giving up instead of doubling down, letting the tragedy define our future.
What do you make of Pandora?
It's clear that there's some kind of antagonistic force in this place, something that doesn't want us to discover the purpose of the megastructure. Perhaps that's part of the testing. Or perhaps it's what's responsible for this state of decay.
What do you think the symbolic value of these entities we're encountering is?
That's a good question. Prometheus is often taken to represent freedom and progress, the ideals of the radical Enlightenment. Pandora, on the other hand, usually represents the dangers of those very ideals, so they're counterparts in a way. And the Sphinx is a mystery. Does that mean that these entities correspond to these concepts? Perhaps. They certainly seem to act like it. But Athena isn't the goddess of Athens, and I'm not Robert Byron, although those are the origins of our names. Where does myth end and history begin? We'll have to find out.
So, this whole time while Byron's speaking, I've been a little bit distracted, because you can see over on the left of our screen, over his right shoulder, there's like a rock structure that sort of looks like there's a ghost crouching next to it. We're gonna go over there and see what the hell that is. That's all. Thanks, Byron. What the hell is this? So, as we approach it, there is static.
When we go to New Jerusalem, I'm going to have a cat. He's going to be black and white, and his name is going to be Bean. And I'm going to make sure that he never gets sick, and he never gets old, and he'll be my best friend forever.
Okay, so that was apparently the voice of Miranda. So now we have like holograms of her hanging around for voice notes. That's neat. That's Byron. Hi, Byron. We just spoke. 3 is over this way. There's a palm reader on the way, so let's go ahead and grab that. I like the little bus stop overhangs that they're in. Founding 3. From Hypatia's Journals, Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem. Day 42. We broke ground on the first of the permanent structures today, a large hall that will eventually be converted into a performance and exhibition space. My idea, although for now we'll use it as a workshop. It's strange, this place. There's a lot of open space, and I didn't think that I would find it so unusual. But I suppose we all spent more time at the dam than was originally planned, and now it's difficult to get used to not having that low ceiling over our heads. It's probably just me. Byron loves being outside and is always volunteering for scavenging missions. Luthrazer usually tags along, although he seems more fascinated with observing nature and various weird creatures. At night, I sometimes catch myself standing by the door, not because I have guard duty, just watching the stars. It's oddly comforting to think that It's oddly comforting to think that they've always been there, that they watched our ancestors, standing where I now stand. Message fragment 5358. From Miranda to 5358. We finished setting up the external side of the lake. The area is so stunning we forgot about the experiment for a while and went for a long walk. The ways in which all the different aspects of nature interact with each other are endlessly fascinating to me, and the sheer variety of living things, even on a simple green meadow. Sadly, we then stumbled onto the carcass of a deer that had been torn apart by wolves. It must have suffered enormously, and thinking about that made me feel truly terrible. There is so much pain in nature. And ecosystem engineers. Cutting down swathes of trees for their building projects, thoughtlessly causing radical changes to... Yep, trying it again. Cutting down swathes of trees for their building projects, thoughtlessly causing radical changes to large environments, and forcing local species to adapt to their artificial habitats. These are the traits of a species of intelligent, industrious, and extremely impactful ecosystem engineers. Humans? No. I am talking about beavers. Like us, beavers transform their environment via building, and their actions have real consequences, creating vast wetlands that some species thrive in while others die. Human activity is very similar. We too are ecosystem engineers, and we too benefit some species while harming others. Everything about this is completely natural, including the damage to other species. After all, that's what competition and evolution is all about. Those species that adapt to the ecosystems we create will, over the coming millennia, become the core of a new biodiversity. And so, evolution runs its course. If we don't like the result, if we think some species should be preserved despite being outcompeted, well, that's anything but natural. It is, however, very human. Miranda is part of the commentary. They're actually named. The other one does still say failed to load profile. Miranda, it's fascinating how so much of what we do is common in animals, but furthered enormously by our intelligence and our ability to remember. Through us, the universe strives to a greater level of complexity. Failed to load profile, but does the universe have the capacity to strive for anything? We must be careful to avoid projecting human values onto the cosmos. Oop. Hey, come here. There it goes. There goes the fox. Oh, you've turned around. Coming back? Okay, cool. Just, again, like the moose or deer, whatever it was that we saw yesterday, just, like, not moving its legs, because the frame rate isn't allowing that right now. Just sort of electric hockey skidding across the ground. There, and back again. A hobbit's holiday. There is a green. Our progress wheel is locked behind the green. There is a red, which we have the emitter for, and this connector to connect the two to. We have an inverter. And a converter. Combiner? I'm going to call it a combiner. It's not called that internally, but I don't care because I need to be able to give these things useful names. All right, hang on. First of all, we need to take this inverter. And turn that red into a blue so we can keep this gate open. Except we did not do that. Oh, right, because our laser interferes with the other laser. Fuck, okay. Well, how the hell do I do that? Okay, so here's what we do. We just need to rearrange the stuff we have out here already. We'll take the connector we have, and I should have just right-clicked to keep the connections, but I didn't do that. I'll send it over here so that the inverter has more room to play. And we'll connect to that there. Turn the red laser into a blue laser. All right, now we can pull the connector into here. We connect the connector to a blue laser and also set it on the box so that the blue laser can actually get out. We can retrieve the inverter. So that we can actually turn that blue laser into a red laser and get the combiner out of its little hole. And now reopen that, and then we'll pull all of this stuff back out here. Because again, we need a red and a blue to make a green. Just need to reverse the order of things we just did. Take the red laser from out here. Turn it into a blue laser to keep this door open. So that we can pull the connector back out. Use the red connector on the red receiver to, again, keep the door open so that we can pull the inverter back out. Okay, now we have everything we need. We actually don't even need to move the connector. We can just use the inverter to pull the red laser out that way and turn it into a blue laser. We take the combiner and connect the red emitter on the wall with the blue inverter. That creates green. We can set it to the green receiver, and boom, wheel progressed. Hi, boss.
Every one of these clouds seems to contain exactly the same amount of energy.
How's it going? We're just throwing out some new puzzles. We're learning a little bit about the failed second outpost that the robots had. There was an accident and it exploded, and so they abandoned it. Today was good. I just had a hot date. Before that, I found out I don't know how to cook bacon in the oven. I hope that there was not a fire problem.
I've been meaning to talk to you. This vision you had, the data stream overload, how did it feel?
I'm also, I presume you wouldn't call it a hot date if it didn't go well, but I still hope that your date went well. How did we feel about the data overload? It was strangely beautiful. It was unpleasant at first, then beautiful. It was frightening. It felt threatening. It was just data. I can't explain it. I would, I guess, say it was unpleasant at first, then beautiful, because it started out with, like, the red flashes as, the data overload started happening and our HUD gave us a bunch of warnings, and then it was Miranda, like, chatting to herself in a little, environment, which was nice. I thought there would be a fire problem, but it was actually steam from the steamed bacon. Steamed bacon. Then I put them back. Then I put them back in for 15 minutes at 400 degrees. I feel like they didn't actually cook, but I guess they did because they were cooked bacon color, and I didn't get food poisoning. It's not. I get that your body is the ultimate test. I'm glad it passed. It was good as hell. I called with a handsome guy for the first time. After what was probably years of text. That's so nice. I'm very glad for you. I of course don't want you to reveal more about your personal life than you feel like revealing, especially in a like streamed environment. But it sounds like you're gonna do it again. I hope this for you. The bacon was a lot like the burger incident where I made a bunch of burgers, cooked them for like 40 minutes, and they were still raw inside. Oh no.
Don't you worry that maybe your first impression was correct? And after that, your mind was basically being hijacked?
It felt more like my mind was being expanded. It wasn't hijacked. I think I made contact with something, or it was beautiful anyway.
Just don't take this too lightly, okay? We're sturdier than our ancestors, but a mind is still a fragile thing.
I wanted to ask you about something else.
Go ahead.
It's probably best that we don't ask about New Alexandria, what with the revelation that he was in that blast. What do you make of Pandora?
It's pretty clear to me that she doesn't want us to proceed with what we're doing. I find that deeply concerning. That said, there are clearly other forces at play here as well, so I'm trying my best to remain open to a more positive interpretation.
One of these beings called us here after all. It could be a test, or I'm leaning negative myself. One of these beings called us here after all.
Exactly. But we don't really understand anything yet, and this Prometheus is suspiciously absent, so I remain cautious.
All right, that's all. I'm totally going to do another call sometime. Also, a cool puppy I know sent me this really good angel dog music. It's been a great day. I'm curious as to what angel dog music sounds like. Because what the brain has handed me is like, you know those recordings of the dogs and they bark jingle bells like that, but for hymns. Like dogs barking ode to joy or as the deer or whatever. The track is called My Teeth Will Free You by Six Wing. It's like a noise pop track, but it does got a dog bark snare in it, so excellent. Refraction. Right, so where is our progress wheel? Can't see it at the moment. All right, so we've got two barriers, one locked with red, the other locked with blue. We have a blue emitter and an inverter, so we can only open the red one right now. Let's go ahead and do that. In here we have, there's the progress wheel. It's all the way back here. We have an inverter and another inverter separated by a membrane on the way to it. What is it that there's a blue lock on that? So, So if I take the two inverters I have, I can click on that one out there and it would send a blue laser in, but that's not a connector on the other end. It's another inverter, so I can't just angle it over there and have that be good. All right, so let's take the inverter that we have access to and use it to open up the blue gate. Okay, and here's where the red emitter is. I feel like I gotta send it to Queen Freya. I don't think she extremely likes Noise Pop, but she probably would like it lyrically. I would have to check it out in order to have a opinion about that, but an artist called Six Wing does sound like it would be up her alley. I love the cool robot lasers you got here. I mean, they're not mine. They were here when they showed up, when we showed up, but I also really like them. So we need to be able to get this open. Is that going to do the thing I want it to do if I connect this one up like this? Yeah, actually it will. Fantastic, that's exactly what I wanted. So I can take this out now and use it to turn that blue laser into a red laser and actually put that in a useful place so it gets that door open. We bring that out to the third inverter so we can turn that red laser back into a blue laser and open this door. And a boom. Wheel progressed. There's new interface content available. I think I'll do that at the... I think I'll deal with that like after the break. All of the social media blasts that are going out. Is that you cute? Hey, cute. Oh no, that's Hal. I really like the way, and I've said this, and I'll probably say it more, I like the way all of these fucking things look. Like the design of the... everything, really. Like, not just the way that the architecture is, although I really fucking like that too, But the way that the items are designed to give like visual clarity to the things that they do, and it's really good. Huh. Okay. So, we have another Sphinx monument, and apparently they're all riddles. The plaque here shows... So that's definitely the big tower structure that's in the area. And there's like a grumpy dude up front. And there's an X on it also. So like I guess X marks the spot, but I have no idea where that spot would be. We'll come back to it. Once we find a big grumpy dude, I presume we'll have a better idea of where to look. Let's continue on. We're still on the... Yep, 5 over this way. Well, then what's over here? Because there's a question mark over this way. Is this one of the secondary puzzles, the triangle ones? Yes, it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this first then. Did you ever do that fun thing in Gmod where you no-clip and put a thing into the skybox so it's a huge looming thing as the sky? The big structure in the distance reminds me of that. I haven't. I've never really fucked around with Gmod, but I can see the resemblance. This is basically a much larger version of the like inverters that we're playing with. It's like, look at your sun. Sorry. So we've got a jammer and an inverter. And a barrier that leads back into more of the puzzle room. Do we have anything to open that with? No, not really, because that's a blue receiver, and all we have is the inverter, so we can just turn that blue laser emitter into a red laser, and that won't actually open the door for us. So we need this jammer to open that first door. So let's go ahead and do that. Get back and see what else there is. There's a red receiver. Which, that's apparently just going to this gate with the progress wheel behind it. So that's what we need to activate in order to do that. Oh, all right. So there's another little area back here that has a driller behind it, and it's locked by a red laser that's like inside the room with it. But there's a window in there, so that's okay. We can actually just take this blue laser and... Well, I was about to say we can just like take the blue laser and... Yeah, turn it into a red laser and send it in through there, but we can't because of the way the angle is. Is there anywhere I can place that where that's going to work? No, probably not, right? It wants me to do something fancier than that. Is there another, like, window into that little area? There isn't, really. So I can't do that way. There's a connector in there. But we can't take it all the way out because there's like a membrane in the way. And we can't carry things past that, so... Yeah, there's like literally no place I can put this where it activates both things. Oh, okay. No, I got it. So what I do is set the blue laser out here. It goes to the inverter. That's going to turn into a red laser here in a second. And we do that by taking the connector. Where'd I put it? It's over here. We take the connector and we attach it to the inverter and that red receiver that's inside there where the driller is. And it can't get there because the barrier's in the way. But we come back out here, we take the jammer that we have, and we jam that gate open instead. It opens, the lasers go where they're supposed to, and now the door's just open. We don't need the jammer to hold it open. So we can re-jam that other door, and now we have access to everything. Fantastic. So, now we take this driller. Actually, do I need the driller at all? Hang on, I think I can just do this like I think I can just do a silly thing and like do this whole thing in one go. Or no, hang on. I need to make sure I hit that other receiver also. There we go. Nope. Okay, that almost works. I just sort of goofed where to put the connector, but I think that's completely doable. I just need to move it over and back just like a little bit. Yeah. And, huh. Why didn't that work? Oh, because there's a, like, blue laser over there that needs to... It needs to be the red and the blue laser both activated. Fuck. Okay. Right, so apparently I do need to use the driller, and I don't know in what ways I need to do that. So I guess what we do is we just use the driller to... We use a driller to punch a hole in this wall. That's for sure, because there's nothing else we can do about that. Like, there's not another wall that we can open with that. And then I think we need to switch sides. I think we need the inverter over here and the connector on the other side. We don't have a red emitter anywhere, do we? No, we just have the one blue one. Oh, no, that's fine. I was making that harder than it had to be. We just do that exact thing. We just reverse the inverter and the connector, and then we set them up the way that it looks like they should be set up. So, oops, nope, that's the barrier. Don't need to fuck around with that. So, we take the connector, we connect it to the blue, we set it down over there so that it's, well, no, it's a little far out. There we go. And now we take the inverter, it's over here, connect it through the window to that connector. That'll turn the blue laser to a red laser. We put it where we put it. We go ahead and use the jammer to reopen the door through the window. And that lowers the gates. Well, bam. wheel progressed.
I sent the drone to have a look at one of the other puzzle clusters. It seems they remain inert until they're connected. I uploaded the pictures to the log.
Should we check them out with the VTOL?
Let's conserve fuel as much as we can. There's no point in going there if it's all dead.
If you'll pardon me just a moment, I'm going to be a dangerous radical and take an ibuprofen. Wow. If I can get to the fucking thing. It's behind the laptop. There we go. Alright, that was one of the secondary puzzles, huh? Yeah. Let's head over here to 5. And continue our lookout for the big grumpy guy. Wherever the hell he is. Hey, here's a question. Okay, here's just a question. Here's just a question real quick. Can I just, like, walk up there? No, that's too steep. It doesn't want me to walk up it. Boo. Hiss and jeer. You're huge. You must be a huge villain. Hiss and jeer. Fallout 4 radio guy voice. Here's the thing. I'm not capable of doing that voice. I don't think I have never played Fallout 4, and the amounts of Fallout 4 I've watched didn't focus on the didn't focus on the, like, radio very much. It's basically like just Final Pam and Final Pam adjacent media. Imprisoned. The Final Pam extended universe. Well... I don't even know if he's relevant to anything. I just love this guy who has severe social anxiety and who also does the largest radio station in the wasteland. It's a good trope. I have... This is not a recommendation of this book series, necessarily. But when we were young, we read a lot of Fool's Company by Robert Asprin. And... one of the characters in that is, like, they were, like, shy and quiet, and they kept getting shuffled around and didn't really like interacting with people, and they just, like, kept getting shuffled around to different jobs to see where they could actually, like, do well like spark up their social anxiety, and then they got moved over to like the radio comms thing. And suddenly it's like, oh no, this is where I'm at, because talking to people like over the radio is something I can actually do. It's not the not interacting with people, it's being able to interact with people in a way that makes me feel safe. Yeah, I wonder if there is any reflection in there. What do we got? So we've got an inverter, a connector. Oh, that's interesting. So there's a switch over here, and we had to switch it in order to get back into here. But the switch is also connected via a sort of junction box to this gate over here that has the blue emitter behind it. So both of those gates can't be open at the same time. Meh. Oh, damn. So I guess what that means is that we need to basically... So we need to basically solve this puzzle fucking sight unseen, and then when we come over here and hit the switch, then this gate will go up, the other gate will go down, and then that'll actually activate everything. That's fun. Okay, how do we do that? No, we don't need to do it all at once. We do it in stages. But it's not many stages. Okay, so here's what we do. We take the inverter, we bring it over here, we select the red laser and the blue receiver, as is tradition. We've done it 3 times now. That's either that's what a tradition means, I think. Take a connector and connect the blue emitter to that same blue receiver. And so when I flip the switch, that will go down. When I flip the switch, this gate will go down, the blue laser will hit the connector and bounce over to that receiver over there, which will open up this gate, which means that the red laser that's in there will come out to the inverter and go off to that same receiver, and that'll keep that open, so we don't have to worry about the other one being closed anymore. Yeah, there we go. And now we can take the converter, or the connector rather, and we'll bring it over here and hit the blue receiver that's in there and the inverter. And that actually opens the gate to the progress wheel. We just need to go back out and get to it. Hell yeah. Hey. Hey. Hey, Al. I'm sorry, I thought you were cute again. The 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 gray looks green in the lighting. I don't know what to tell you. Sorry about it. I'm glad you got the little spike. I get a lot of little spikes. I'm used to it by now. I also, the sardonic comment aside, sorry, the, I really like the way that the game rewards you for getting a puzzle right? It's the, you get to see the, like, mechanisms of the spikes going when the frame rate isn't being like it is currently. There's also like a big poof of particles as the energy goes out to the bridge mechanism. The music changes for a little bit before it goes back to its sort of quiet contemplative thing. They're very good, like, oh, what the fuck is the word for them? It's, I've used it before and, like, recently. Game rewards that don't actually have an impact on the way the game is played. It's like they're not stat buffs or anything. It's just, like, cool. Hidden. Cosmetics. Yeah, that's an alright word. That certainly works for the idea I'm putting across. There's another word I want a little bit more, but it's not gonna come to me, I don't think. Where is our progress wheel? Did I miss it? Oh, no, it's over here. So, here's our progress wheel. It's locked behind a gate with 2 buttons. So we need 2 things to press the... We need 2 things to press that down. Which is interesting because it's in this sort of back area that is blocked off by a couple of membranes. Oh, okay. So that is true, but also there's this just barrier here, and it's opened with a red... It's opened with a red laser, so we need to figure out how to bounce a red laser around to open this up so we can get that connector out there into here so we can use it to press the buttons down. What tools do we have to that end? We have 1 parentheses 1 numeral blue laser emitter. There's another barrier over here that's connected to a blue and a red receiver. And I don't know if they both need to be on at the same time or if just one of them being on will do the trick. Well, okay, we can just try that. So we'll take the connector and hit the... Stop that. We'll take the connector. We'll hit the blue emitter over there. Now we'll take the inverter. Come here. And bring it around over here so that it can hit the blue connector out there and the red receiver. And okay, that does pop that open all by itself. Okay, I think I see it. So what I need to do is take the inverter, and actually let's deselect what we have. Connect it to the connector out there and the blue emitter through the wall. And set those both down at the red thing. And that makes it so that the barrier over there will stay open when I take this connector. Now we use the connector over here to connect the blue emitter to the blue receiver. We'll set that there. And that means that barrier will stay open when we move the inverter again. So that we connect it to that blue receiver over there. No. I thought this was it. But that's not it, because if I put this down here... That's fine and all, but, like, it opens this barrier that we need open, but I can't actually move the connector in, because the second I pick up the connector, it breaks all the things, and the lasers don't laser anymore. Is there a place where I can see both of those things at the same time? Oh, yeah, actually. I just need to do... I also love when they rotate. It's a really cool little... It's a really cool little thing. She is spinning. I do love that for her. Yeah, okay. I can do that. I just need to do it from, like, back here. There we go, and that'll keep the barrier open when I move the connector. I mean, it'll close that one, but the one over there that I need, the big one, will stay open. There we go, now we have both the things. Drop that into there. B, inverter. Put that back down here. And send the particle burst back out into the air. Beautiful. Is that Al again? It is. Why do you keep following me? Okay. Let's head off to 7. Can we see the megastructure from here? We should be able to, right? Hi, Fox. Look at him go. That hot dog is doing a bang-up job. More people juggling bowling balls upstairs. They've done it too often and I don't care anymore. That's the thing about trying to run a brain on cortisol, you know. Eventually you reach, like, saturation and it's like nothing feels like anything anymore. Seven, right here. Just the entrance is on the other side, I guess. Deep, here we go. Backward propagation. All right. So there's our progress wheel. It's behind a blue gate. We have an inverter, but nothing to connect it to out here. But there's a switch we can press, so let's do that. Huh. I must have missed something. I simply must have. Okay, there we go. There's the, I was like, there needs to be another emitter somewhere, and there is. It's right there. Okay, so this is a version of the same problem we just had. We need to keep this gate open using the laser that's inside it. We do that by connecting it up like that. then we take our inverter, our other inverter, because we have two of them, connect it to the red emitter. We send that out to that connector, so it turns into a blue laser. It'll hit that inverter and become a red laser and go out to the red receiver, and that'll keep that gate open on its own. And, So I was thinking I could just take the fucking other inverter and like connect it up to those two lasers over there. Well, I guess I can. I guess there's nothing stopping me. Yeah, actually, I don't know why I was so hesitant to do that. I just do literally that exact thing. I stand there just long enough for the, for the lasers to propagate, for the thing to go off, and then it's all set up. I can just walk in here and progress the wheel.
That was very smart, 1K. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound surprised. I mean, like, clearly you know what you're doing.
It doesn't feel that way. Oh, here's another hologram of Miranda. So let's go ahead and hear what she has to say.
There's so much to discover on this island that sometimes it overwhelms me. Every lake, every forest contains an incredible, interconnected, permanently changing network of organisms. And every one of those organisms is almost infinitely complex and contains other organisms within itself. It seems impossible to ever really grasp.
So let's go ahead and...
But then,
oh,
step by step,
you weren't done.
I do understand. It takes time and effort, but it's not impossible. And there's a lot of joy to be found in simply taking the time to truly study something. I spent 5 years studying a single flower, and it never got boring.
Uh-huh. Okay. I did find another triangle puzzle, so let's do that. It's called Pre-Connected. And okay, so we have this first room with nothing in it except an emitter and a switch to open a barrier. But there's already a driller drilling a hole in a wall that we can pull this inverter out of. So let's do that, because it'll give us something to press down the switch. There's our progress wheel behind a red laser. There's another more different barrier. It's got a it's got an inverter behind it. That inverter is also like sitting on a switch, which I guess is keeping this gate closed? I don't know what else it would be doing. Doesn't look like it's connected to anything. So... Alright, so the fuck what? We can... So there's one emitter, and to be able to use it, we probably need to have the driller, connected in. But, even with that, I don't know how I'm supposed to take this thing out. Because I need the inverter to be able to, push down the button to get this open. And I could, swap it for the... Oh, no. Okay, that's how I do that. I was about to say, I can swap it for the driller, but that, creates the same problem. But it creates the same problem in a way that's useful. So go ahead and take the driller and put that on the switch. That gives us the inverter. And now we can connect it up to that emitter and that receiver. And we'll put it right here in front of the copper wall. And now we take the driller. Create a hole so that the laser can get through. And that lets us fuck around with that. I should have, but it's okay. I can fix it immediately. Also, sent the blue laser out to the other receiver over there? So we can open that also. And get this other inverter. What the hell? Oh, Oh, ho, ha, and hum. So the switch that the inverter was standing on is a sort of junction switch that's keeping one of the gates open and the other of the gates closed. If we could pull it off the switch on, like... If we could pull it off the switch when both of these are... with the laser not pointing towards this, it would open up both of them at the same time. But we can't do that because we need to be in there in order to pull the thing off the switch, obviously. Or no, that's what I'm saying. That doesn't matter. It's ridiculous to say that patently. So I just need to do this same thing the same way, except not connect the other switch. Well, why isn't that doing that? Why is that not doing that thing? It feels like that should be how it works. Well, no, all I've done is successfully, like, close both of them. That's not what I wanted. All right, so so there's another copper wall over here that we can punch through, and I guess we can... If I do that, is there a place where I can see both of the... That's going to cause everything to shut down, but that's okay. Put a hole in that wall. Is there a place where this inverter can see the receiver over there? Oh, like fucking barely. But yeah. Okay, that's great. And so now we can just take the other inverter. And turn it from a blue laser to a red laser, and that'll open the progress wheel. Fantastique. Is that 7? Or, no, wait, was that one of the... triangle puzzles? Yeah, it was. I think we did 7. We still have 8 to go. But we'll do that here in a moment. Because I'm a little past usual time for break. So while the music while the beauteous music swells. And before I take my break, I want to take the opportunity to remind you that Black Lives Matter, that Indigenous lives and lands matter, the lives of people of color matter, that Palestinian, Ukrainian, Sudanese, Congolese, Iranian lives matter. There are many ways to be in solidarity with your fellow travelers on this earth, and we like to push for direct mutual aid, as it helps people who are suffering right now suffer less, and people who are suffering less can stand shoulder to shoulder with us a little taller. So let me look at something other than a pillar. On the break, I'm going to go to the mutual aid hashtag on my social media and boost what needs I can there. I recommend that you take the opportunity to check out mutual aid initiatives in places you operate, both online and in meet space. Because the only way we get out of this is through. The only way we get through this is together. In the meantime, maybe have a snack or drink some water, do a stretch, take your meds if it's time for you to take your meds. Do whatever self-care is useful to you. I'll do the same. And I'll catch you back here in just a little bit. Oh, I had the headset up instead of down in front of my face. And that's why there has not been speaking. I'm back. I tried to fuck around with the frame rate, but it didn't do anything. So. Alright, what the hell are we trying to do? So, way back there is our progress wheel. There's a sort of 3-barrier airlock between it and us, with a red receiver, a blue receiver, and an inverter. Back here behind the membrane, we have a little area with another inverter. And also a fan and a box on top of the fan. But there's like a roof above the fan. So that just seems like it would hit the top of hit the ceiling instead of going up. I don't know. Maybe that's fine. And over here, there's a little alcove with a connector. The connector is sitting on a switch, and presumably as soon as we lift up that switch, the gate that's here is going to close. Yes, that is correct. So what can we do? We have a blue laser emitter, but all of the things that we need to send the laser out to are red. So I suppose what we do is take the connector, connect it to that emitter over there. And then at least we have a point we can work with when we come in here. Grab the inverter. Connect to... No, don't do that. Connect the inverter to the connector. And then I guess from right here we can send it out to both of the red receivers that we can see. That does send the box up in the air. So, hooray for box, I suppose. I'm not sure what that does for us. It does open this other area. Can we get that inverter out of there now? We can. So let's. Okay. So I think we need to switch the inverter with the connector. So we go into the little alcove. Pull the connector off. And then... hit the... that also red? Yeah, it sure is. So if we just put this here, that'll actually let us hit every receiver we have access to. That means that we can't hit that blue laser. That's what the box is for, I suppose. Yeah, okay, so... Oh, right, we can't take the connector into here, can we? That's fine. We'll take this inverter, we'll connect it to that inverter, so it'll be a blue laser when it comes out. We'll very quickly place it on that, so that it goes up in the air. And now we should be able to take the connector into here. And be able to connect it to the blue receiver from the box. Hang on. Let's deselect that. Yep, there we go. And boom. I'm back. I fixed the bacon disaster. I'm very glad of that. What did you do to repair the bacon? The pan was like a 1/4 inch of congealed grease, and then also multiple pieces of bacon stuck to the pan. A 100% just about thought about just throwing that pan away, but I like the pan. That is rough. I'm glad that it's no longer a disaster. Is the bacon okay? I didn't keep the bacon I didn't already eat because it was basically 50% bacon slime. That's understandable. I was about to say, back when, like, bacon was a thing we ate, like, bacon slime was sort of delicious, but, like, that much bacon slime all at once probably wouldn't be a fun sensory experience. It's more like it got cooked into slime. I like bacon slime. It's just I don't want bacon that got macerated by the heat. That's fair. So, not unlike Steve Carlsberg, I saw a dotted line in the sky. And I am trying to follow it to see where it goes, to see what I need to do about it. Can't follow it directly because I need to go over this hump of a hill. But that's fine. I can just get over here and then walk back a little ways and then hopefully be able to pick up the trail again. It's just so thin up there. Yep, there it is. It's better when you can see it outlined against other stuff. Did I lose it? Oh, nope, there it is. I'm just trying to get on an angle where I can see it, like, directly. Is it terminating over there at that, like, structure? Yeah, it looks like it. Like, there's a boop right on top of it. And there's a hologram underneath here of someone in a thinking posture.
Whether it is true that Daedalus constructed the giant Talos, or as others say he was the creation of Hephaestus, what we may be certain of is that he was made of bronze and had but one vein, within which flowed a liquid substance like blood, which some claim was quicksilver, and others assert was ichor, such as flows in the veins of the gods. The loss of that liquid caused him to die, as a man dies when he loses his blood.
And that's where we get the term.
May we not then say that Talos, though created as a machine or a toy, had all the essential properties of a man? He moved of his own volition, he spoke and could be spoken to, had wishes and desires. Indeed, in the tale of the Argonauts, that was the cause of his downfall. If then a machine may have all the properties of a man, and act as a man while driven only by the ingenious plan of its construction and the interaction of its materials according to the principles of nature, then does it not follow that man may also be seen as a machine? This contradicts all the schools of metaphysics. Yet even the most faithful philosopher cannot live without his blood.
So, yes. The dotted line does go to here, but then it goes out again over this way somewhere, and I'm having a really hard time picking up the thread once it turns. Oh, hey. Here's a bit of human rubble. An ancient mechanism of unknown functionality. It is impossible to reconstruct the purpose of this device. It looks to me like a fuck machine. Like the ones that are basically like a train wheel. I could be wrong. Oh, okay, there it is. Hang on, found it. That is so hard to see. You know what? Fuck this. I'm gonna make it easier to see by actually throwing a laser through that process. Then if I need to change what color the laser is, I'll deal with that later. Let's go back to the thing. It was like right outside Puzzle 8. That's 6, that's 7, 8's over there. Oh, and there's the gate too. Wonderful. So there's puzzle 8. Where's the thing? There's the line. It's in fact going over this way. Did I? No, I didn't misremember. No, I did. There it is. Okay. So I guess 7 would probably be the puzzle room that's closest to it? That we can actually, like, throw a laser out at it from? Like, let's try it. I see no good reason not to. What's this, like, little house over here? I hadn't noticed this before. It's a little, like... sort of looks like a squat factory kind of thing. I can step into it. Just looking around to see if there's anything else. And there's a kind of checkerboard down there. I'm unsure if we can do anything with that. So, was it back to 7, which I think is just over here? Yes, it is. So let's take this inverter. Sure, why not? It sort of doesn't matter. And we'll hit that emitter over there. And we'll send it out there to that fucking, well, almost. Almost. Scoot it forward a little bit. And there we go. It's now got a literal, actual laser going to it, something we should be able to follow a lot more easily than just dotted line in the sky. So we need to go back all the way across the map over to that other structure, the one with Stratum of Stratigeri under it. Oh yeah, that's so much easier. I love that for us. Around this little mini mountain. Okay, now we can finally head off this way and actually be able to see where the hell we're going. I'm like taking a stop every couple of seconds. Make sure I can still see the damn thing. But it is still there, and it lands us here. And, like, I guess my question is why? Because there's, like, not a lot happening there. What about this structure that's close by here? What number puzzle is this? It is 3. And, well, I'll tell you what. For fun, let's go ahead and take the connector. We can attach it to that over there. And the... well... we can attach it to that over there and the red that's in this puzzle room. And then send the green laser out to there. We could have bypassed the entire puzzle had we known it's there. What am I supposed to do with that? I got no damn idea. I didn't find the grumpy dude either. You know what? I'm just not gonna. With these. I'll do the thing that I was doing for the first game, and I'll just kind of... I got all the main line puzzles, and that's good. I'll come back for the rest. I'll do like a backtrack later. Right now, we'll just like kind of move the thing along. And to move the thing along, we need to go up into the pointy ball. Where the hell is the gate? I completely lost track of it. Like, as the closer we get to the middle of this, the, like... we'll get to it eventually. We're just kind of circling it right now. Oh, there it is. Hang on, it's finally on the compass again. We're getting around to it. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Need to go up a little bit because they need an excuse for us to make a Tetramino bridge. All right, and in through here. At least this first one will be easy, because there's only so much that fits in that very narrow space. Same with this. Only one piece that sort of fits that outline. That one goes like that. Place that last T-square. There we go. Then head up in the tower and see who's going to chat at us now. It's the Sphinx again.
When the craftsman Daedalus was imprisoned in the very labyrinth he had created, his only solace was his son, Icarus. To escape their plight, he fashioned wings of feathers and wax. He warned his son to fly neither too high nor too low, but his son, enraptured by the freedom of flight, flew too close to the sun. Thus the wax in his wings melted, and he fell to his death. What was the sun's error?
Being too hot. Oh no, you meant the child. Hubris, the flame of the sun belongs to the gods. Disobedience, he should have listened to his father. Carelessness, he did not use his wings correctly. Impatience, if he wanted to soar so high, he should have built better wings. Lawlessness, he should never have attempted to escape the labyrinth. Idiocy, the wings were made from wax, I mean, come on. We are obliged by the interface to say that there was an error, and I suppose carelessness fits
Or was
the
it
best.
Daedalus who was careless, giving the wings to Icarus, knowing that all young men are rash? After the death of his son, Daedalus withdrew in sorrow to a foreign land. King Minos came looking for the craftsman to exact his revenge. The answer to a riddle revealed where Daedalus dwelled. But for Minos, that answer was his ruin. Consider King Minos burned in his bath as you seek your own answer.
Okay. I'm not going to rise to it. I'm just going to let Sphinx go ahead and be shitty.
structure. It's opening.
3 receivers, 3 towers, 3 beams, as we suspected. I think this is an invitation.
Doesn't look that inviting to me.
If you consider the size of the entire structure, then that opening must be big enough to drive a building through.
Or the VTOL.
You want us to go in there, into the creepy triangular maw of death?
Maw of death? I think it looks charming.
Byron's right. We're here to explore, and this is a mystery worth investigating. This technology could change everything.
Oh, all right. I'm not winning this, am I?
Nope. Let's meet up with the VTOL, everybody. We're going in.
3 is a magic number. Like faith and hope and charity. Alright, so apparently we're going to go into the megastructure tomorrow and see how the hell that is. But this is going to be the stream for the evening. Thanks for being here, Cherry. Thanks to anyone watching this as a VOD. Tomorrow we'll go into the megastructure and see what the fuck's in there. Spoiler alert, it's gloomier, but rad, and we're going to have to do some cooperation. Until then, I've been September of the Free Association. I want you to know that I love you. Keep yourself safe. Find something to do and do it. Later.